Let me use this video to illustrate how to use the graphic calculator in some of the modes which are essential for learning linear graph or linear algebra in level 1 NCEA. So as you can see, the graphic calculator is on the run mode. That's where we do all the calculations. But in a short while I'll take it to the graph mode. You can use the graphic calculator in graph or equation mode, but today I am not going to use the equation mode for some reason, because I'm going to explain it later on. This is how you do the navigation, and these are all the function keys. This is the row where I enter the equations, and sometimes what really happens, you start off with some of the equations already entered, and that creates a bit of problem. So we need to delete all the existing equations, which is pretty simple. You go to F2, and then following you go to F1, and that deletes the equation. Now, once I have done that, next step would be once I've done that, next step would be to enter the equations. In the last couple of minutes I've showed you how to delete the existing equations. So I get into Y1, and I am entering. If I want to come out of the existing screen, this is the key I use. So how to enter equations in graph mode? Pretty simple. That's the row I'm talking about. I want to enter 2 times x. This is the variable key. I want to enter 2 lots of x plus 2, and that gives you the entry to the calculator. Right, so if I want to draw the graph, I simply use this key, F6. That gives you the graph, straight and simple. Trace is one of the features which is quite useful. So you go, in a short while I'm going to show it to you. You go trace and then F1. That gives you that blinking cursor, and the cursor will move along the line, and the x and y coordinates will be displayed on the screen. It's a marvelous feature. It gives you a good understanding of the coordinates of different points on the line. Let's move on with some other features. Anytime you want to enter something, you use this one. Anytime you want to come out of, go to the previous window, you use the exit key. One of the difficult thing with most of the students is to use the simultaneous equations where two lines crosses and gives you a point of intersection. It's not easy for some of the students to use the algebra to find out the answer. In that kind of situation, well, an optional uh, process is there. You can use the graphic calculator, get the point coordinates. Obviously, the students will be asking, is it going to give you good marks? Well, to get excellence, obviously, you'll have to, well, think about some algebra. This is, I wanted to enter negative x plus 3. I used the wrong key, so I'm going back once again. I've been trying to draw the line. Okay, this time I was okay. I got y2 negative x plus 3. Once I have that equation entered, I can draw the graph by pushing the F6 key. That's the point of intersection I was talking about. So if you go for shift, that one, G-solve, and then intersect, that'll give you the solution. Marvelous, isn't it? One of the problems with the graphic calculator is the view window. That's the one I'm talking about. These two will adjust your view window. It's just like a zoom feature on the camera. So you can adjust the view window with that particular function key. So that's what I'm showing, actually, how to use the zoom button. Okay, so to work with the view window, you got to do lots of practice, because that will let you choose the x variable. Over here is showing 0, negative 10 to positive 10 maximum. You can similarly, you can also adjust the y minimum and y maximum. So if you are talking about a scale factor of, say, $1,000, obviously you got to fix the window, and that is not easy. That's quite a challenging task for the students. So overall, what I can say, the graphic calculator will let you do most of the calculations or visual illustration, but that's not good enough to get higher grades, you need to understand at the end of the day some algebra. But for achieved level, maybe that kind of understanding should be sufficient at this level. So one of the downside, you got to invest some money on top of the Chromebook. But the difficulty is that during the NCA assessments, you won't be allowed to take in your Chromebook. But you are more than welcome to bring in a graphic calculator, which is certainly going to help you in doing some of the features of the graph, which is not easily accessible without a bit of understanding of algebra. So if you are struggling with algebra, this is the way to go. Bring in a graphic calculator, have a go, and most likely you will end up with at least an achieved, which is a basically passing level. But if you really want to understand in depth some mathematics, algebra is mandatory. Without algebra, it's almost impossible to understand advanced mathematics. So yes, the graphic calculator has different features. You can go for types of graph, you can draw the graphs, and so on. I will stop there.